Hello guys, welcome to Auto Latest Cars. Today we are talking about the new Citroen C5 Aircross. This is a car that actually it's the latest Citroen SUV car on European market, and a car that actually it's quite beautiful. I drove this one for over 600 kilometers. I took it around 40 kilometers, and now I have 628 kilometers on the dashboard. In the last 248 kilometers, I have an average fuel consumption of 7.3, and as you can probably see, if the letters are blue, that means that this car is driving in electric mode. Of course, I have to show you the real system, how to find out. So this is the minimalistic dash, and okay, and I have some 5 bricks at the battery. Of course, it's a small battery. It's a 0.9 kilowatt hour battery, and of course you have navigation, like you have Google Maps there. So from this point of view, this car is magical. Of course, in the last 6 months we drove a lot of Chinese cars, modern Chinese cars, and I have to tell you that this is the first European car that actually beats the hell out of the Chinese cars from the interior point of view. The multimedia system, it's magical. You have shortcuts for the air conditioning, Google Maps, and of course when you start the engine, the software of this multimedia system, it's spot on. Actually, it's twice as fast when it reboots compared with the Chinese cars. And here I have to talk about Geely, about MG, and of course BYD. A lot of guys actually praise BYD, but the infotainment system in the BYD cars are lacking like all other Chinese brands. Of course, I think that's one that actually it's faster. It's called Lynk & Co 08, but even that one, it's slower than compared with this Citroen C5 Aircross. This I'm driving now the 1.2 liter turbo hybrid engine that has a maximal power of 145 horsepower, and the combined torque, it's around 250, because the petrol engine inside, it's the new 1.2 HN09 engine that has a timing chain, and of course it doesn't have the belt, the famous belt at the oil pump. It has chain. So this is the most elaborate and bulletproof engine now from Stellantis. It's an engine that is mounted on all Stellantis cars, even in Fiat and Jeep. Of course, it's not so powerful, but when we compare it against the Japanese or the Chinese engines, the 1.5 from Chinese, I have to tell you that this engine, even though it has only 3 cylinders, it's very powerful. So it has 136 horsepower, that's the petrol engine, and 230 Newton meters, but around 1750 RPM. So this car, this engine, is sufficient for this car when we're driving in the city driving, like now, like we're driving now. You also have an extra 28 horsepower from the electric engine that is mounted inside the 6-speed double clutch electrified gearbox from Punch Automotive Transmission. It's a company that is owned by the Stellantis company, and of course by a Chinese company. So even though in the last 2 years, this gearbox, e-DCS6, it doesn't had any very good reliability statistics, but today in 2025-2026, this gearbox, it's bulletproof from my point of view. Of course, you could buy this car on European market, Western European market, with 8 years warranty. Here in East Europe, you have the standard warranty, which is 4 years and 100,000 kilometers, but you could buy it extra to go 6 years and 180,000 kilometers, which is wow compared with all Chinese brands that have a 150,000 kilometers warranty point stop, and that's it. After 150 you don't have any warranty. Well, when you buy this 1.2 hybrid engine from Stellantis, especially on this C5 Aircross 2025-2026, you could buy an extra warranty, so you could reach 180,000 kilometers, which is top from my point of view. Of course, a lot of guys, you're going to compare this engine with the previous generation, which was somehow a total disaster, the PureTech engine. But that engine is no more, because this is the new HN09. It's an engine with the timing belt, with timing chain, not timing belt, not wet timing belt. How it works? First of all, when you have the letters, as I told you, blue, now we are driving in EV mode. When you have the letters in white, you have a petrol mode. So this small hybridization, a lot of guys are talking about this engine like being a mild hybrid, but I say every time when I drive this system on 145 horsepower from Stellantis, I'm talking about entry-level hybrid, or soft hybrid engine. So in city driving, it's not so more efficient like a Toyota 2.5 or a Toyota 2.0 full hybrid engine, of course, or like the Chinese. But when you're driving in normal roads, in normal real life, like 80% or 50% of the time on the highway, you'll definitely find out that this engine, it's more reliable and not so more reliable, more comfortable, and it has a better fuel consumption compared with the older or the newer Toyota engine 2.5 mounted on the new RAV4, which has only 143 horsepower, and this engine 1.2 turbo has 136. Of course, the electric engine on RAV4 hybrid two-wheel drive, it's more powerful. It has 119 horsepower, but if you're driving on the highway, of course, the 98% of the time you'll use the petrol engine. So from the torque point of view, this engine is more powerful and more pleasant to drive compared with the 2.5 from Toyota, and that's the reality. If you drive this car in city driving, you'll definitely find out that the Japanese engine, it's more it has a better fuel consumption. But if you drive this engine on the highway, this car on the highway, you'll definitely get a better fuel consumption. At 150 kilometers an hour, on average, not on average, 140, 150 kilometers an hour, you'll have a fuel consumption around 7.5 liter per 100 kilometers. And when you drive this RAV4 on the same speed range, you'll have an 11-12 liters per 100 kilometers. So that's a very, very big problem. And also the Chinese have the same problem, because they are using a multimodal gearbox with two electric engines. It's like a CVT, but more elaborate and more powerful compared with the CVT. But of course, we are in 2025, and everybody is trying to stop the speeds of modern cars. And when you're driving a modern Citroen car with a double clutch gearbox, you'll find out that actually this car is quite lovely to drive and has a very good fuel consumption on city driving. As you probably know, it's a 3-cylinder engine. Okay, it's not so beautiful to drive in the city driving mode, because it's only a 3-cylinder engine. But if you are driving normally, not sporty, normally, this engine, it's enough. From my point of view, it's enough. This car has an empty weight of 1,650 kilograms. So if you put all the passengers, you could go over 2 tons easily. So this system, of course, is not the most powerful from Stellantis. They also are offering 1.6 turbo engine with 4 cylinders and plug-in version, which has 195 horsepower, and of course the 7-speed double clutch electrified engine, a gearbox with over 100 horsepower inside, and a system that actually it's quite more powerful compared with this one. But the price range, it's around 10,000 euros more. So if you want to actually have a budget as modern SUV with a decent fuel consumption, you definitely should go for this 1.2, because this engine, it's enough for city driving. It's enough for a guy that actually drives around okay, let's say 20 or 30,000 kilometers per year, 50% of the town, out of the town, and 50% in town. the system works good. It's okay. It's the third generation of this gearbox with the third generation of the software, and it's important when we are talking about the software, because definitely this is important an important thing to remember, because when this gearbox appeared 3 years ago, it had some issues with the synchronization compared with the previous generation 1.2 engine, but today they are everything it's okay. So we have to talk about the new C5 Aircross. First of all, this is the most comfortable new modern SUV, compact SUV on the market. The suspension is top, and believe me, if you drive a 3008 or if you drive on a Grandland, this is the most comfortable running gear of any Stellantis new car. Actually, the suspension is beautifully made to run on bad roads, on bumpy roads, on speed limiters, or any other surfaces, bad surfaces on European market. It drives well, even at a high speed at around 150 kilometers an hour. This suspension, it's enough. It's sufficient to drive it to be a very premium feeling. From my point of view, this is a premium feeling. As you probably see, actually I driving on the bad road, some bad Romanian roads here, but it's enough, and it's much more improved compared with the 3008. Compared with the Grandland, with the top of the line version, because now I'm driving the top of the line version with the 19-inch alloy wheels. And the price tag here, it's below 30,000 euros for a new car with 145 horsepower. A car, as you probably see, that was a very big and steep bulletproof. Now that's a nice road. So this is a speed limiter that actually could destroy even a Land Cruiser running gear. But we are driving the new C5 Aircross, so everything is quite beautiful here. The only downsides of this car is that you definitely every time when you drive it in the city mode, you wish to have an auto hold. This gearbox doesn't permit an auto hold, and of course I like it. I like the fact that they use the physical buttons, and compared with the Chinese system, this is the best multimedia system on modern cars. And of course you have a lot of buttons, which is quite good, because you definitely want a lot of buttons. And of course everything it's a normal the engineers. This is a car that was made by engineers, not by accountants. So everything inside is quite very good placed, and the ergonomics of this car is beautiful. Of course everybody wants to drive a Tahoe, but we are driving a new the Suburban. Is like the Tahoe is too small, so he bought a Suburban, which is quite good. It's a 6.2 liter V8 engine. I recommend that engine. Of course we are in Europe 2025, and we are driving a 1.2 turbo petrol hybrid engine, which is enough for this car. So if you don't believe me, please go and make a review, test drive yourself one of these cars, and make your mind. And believe me, when you compare with VW Tiguan, you have to remember that you have to compare it with the Tiguan with 130 horsepower without hybridization. It's also it's a mild hybrid, but 8 horsepower or 10 horsepower, so it's not enough. It's only a mild hybrid on paper. This actually has a 28 horsepower and 55 Newton meter electric engine mount inside the gearbox. So this system it's more like a soft hybrid, so it could run on electricity more often than a mild hybrid system. Mild hybrid system, it's actually a system that actually makes you have a small speed to shut the engine off when you go and stand still. Today, no, look at this. I have 50 kilometers an hour and I'm driving in electric mode. And today, in this situation, I stopped at the stoplight, and after this I go. Of course, it will start the petrol engine, but that's the reality of this car. It doesn't have an heel hole, so that's a very big problem. Inside, the quality of the interior, it's some quite bad, so it has a very rough plastic here, but it has a beautiful head-up display, and this texture is quite good. And of course, I think the engineers, as themselves, when they started to build and make this car, okay, we are offering them good quality materials inside or a big tablet standard, and everybody said big tablet standard because we have to compete with the Chinese. And of course, you have here, when I have my keys, you have here a cup holder for the coffee, 2 cup holders for other drinks. So it's a floating design center console. Everything is quite beautiful made here, and you have also a normal system to flow for the air. This is not digital, so it's quite beautiful. And the texture, this is a max version. It's a top of the line C5 Aircross, a car that is more expensive, but I definitely would recommend you the entry level one, because you put an extra warranty here, you go around 1,030, let's say 31,000 euros, around 31,000 euros, 31,000 euros, 500 on this European market, with the extra warranty of 6 years and 180,000 kilometers. So it's cheaper than the bigger Dacia Bigster, which is not so big compared with this one. So this is very big, the length of this car and the width of this car is better than the Renault Austral or Dacia Bigster. So it's a bigger car, but you definitely have to go and find out by yourself. The fuel consumption, as I told you, 7.3. That's a normal, not an economical drive mode. Actually, I drive it in normal mode, as you probably see, normal, and not eco. And sport, it's in Illusion for the 1.2, and you have different modes for the hill descent control, which is quite nice because you have sand, mud, and winter. This is for the gearbox, which is a lot of, and you have this is hill descent control, okay, and the normal everything it's off. So this car it's a very big novelty for the Stellantis group in 2025, 2026. If you want a normal, good warranty, big SUV. With no bullshit from like VW, a lot of optional extra, you should go for the Citroen. And on this European market, this car in entry level version is called U, with the red paint. It's 29,951 euros with our VAT of 21%. If you like our videos, please like and subscribe.